Howdy y'all, hope you're having a good day. Silver Trade here again with another video. XRT short interest is at 372%, and please remember none of this is financial advice. We make these videos for entertainment purposes only, but GameStop's shareholders own the float. GameStop did a 120 million share offering, and even when they did that, there was still only 100,000 shares that could be borrowed, so retail pretty much owns the entire float. And because banks are catching on, that we're catching on to the float being locked up from GameStop dumping shares on the market and the shares to borrow don't even move, the banks realize that we're catching on to that, and so now they are increasing their holdings in GameStop. So that way, in the history books, it looks like, oh, well, these big old banks were just buying when GameStop was offering. But we know. UBS increased their stake, and Water Street Capital just bought 600,000 shares too. Here's options volume for GameStop over the last 90 days for whoever's curious. We can really see that Roaring Kitty started buying up options here with these huge spikes, and he was buying in blocks of 5,000. But I'll let y'all know if I see any movement here. XRT, same old, 84% short, 95% short, 84% short, 86% short, 83% short. And failures to deliver has not been updated yet on Vanguard. And luckily somebody pointed out yesterday that it says failures to deliver, but it actually has values right here. So this isn't 460,000 shares of Vanguard. This is $460,000 worth of failures to deliver for Vanguard. Still a large spike in FTDs though. Very exciting. The MACD has been trending down for a while. Now we're back down to where we were in April, and it's crossing again, and it looks very bullish. And please remember, none of this is financial advice, but whenever you look at GameStop, it's easy to see how it is undervalued. Back before 2020, on the TTM chart, which is the trailing 12-month chart, they were losing over $600 million. Now they're profitable. We know that they just got another $4 billion in cash from their offering, and so now total assets is above $5 billion. So we have a company with a positive trailing 12 months net income and more than $4 billion cash on hand, but with a market cap of only around $9 billion. And like we've talked about before, comparing it to other companies really shows the value. So Tyson's Foods, trailing 12-month income minus $7 million, cash reserves $2.57 billion. But their market cap is still over double GameStop's, even though they're losing money and have less cash on hand. Their market cap is $21 billion, over double GameStop's. Their trailing 12-month income is minus $73 million, so they're losing money. Their cash reserve is $2.6 billion, so less than GameStop as well. And their market cap is $33 billion, nearly quadruple the market cap of GME. But they're losing money and have less cash on hand. Newmont Corporation, same thing. Trailing 12-month income, minus $2 billion. Cash reserves, $2.65 billion. Is still 6 times higher than GME at $50 billion. But they're losing money and they have less cash on hand. Snap Inc., trailing 12-month income, minus $1.2 billion. Cash reserves, $3 billion. But their market cap is still well above GameStop's. Snowflake, trailing 12-month income, minus $929 million. Cash reserves, $3.5 billion. Market cap, nearly $40 billion. Losing money, once again, less cash. 3.5 times the market cap. But I think it's closer to like 5 times. Same thing with Warner Bros. They're losing money, and they got a whole bunch of cash on hand, and their market cap is double GameStop's. The exact same story, losing a bunch of money. They have a good bit of cash on hand, but their market cap is 13 times higher than GameStop's. And obviously stock prices don't just go off of how much money they have and how much they make. There's like debt and a whole lot of other things that pile into it. But like we've talked about before, GameStop has over $4 billion in cash, and they're only in debt like $32 million. That's like if you had $4,000 in your pocket and your friend wanted you to buy y'all lunch. I mean, it'd be $32 from that 4K. It's like a drop in the bucket. All these other companies probably have a lot of debt. So this guy had a really great post. I really appreciate him. GME should be trading about $70 fundamentally speaking, question mark. He plugged it into this formula and came to the conclusion that GameStop should be worth about $71. You can check the math on that if you'd like. And plugging in the same numbers for Tesla, he got $20 per share. But obviously Tesla's a pretty hyped up stock, so it's going to be higher than it, fundamentally really is. He ran Nvidia through the same formula and got $1.78 per share. And Roaring Kitty's been silent for a while, but let's remember his cost average is about $23.50, and he would only buy where he thinks there's really good value, and GameStop is actually below that right now. And one of the directors at GameStop recently added more to his position at about $25 per share, and when insiders are buying, that can only mean one thing. And like we talked about yesterday, Renaissance Hedge Fund bought over 1 million shares as well recently. And they're supposed to be a pretty good hedge fund, but that's just what they all say, right? Andrew Left has a trial date set for September 24th. Left surrendered in Los Angeles and pleaded not guilty. A judge in the case allowed him to remain free on a $5 million bond, $1 million of which was posted in cash. His wings were clipped, passport surrendered, travel restricted to California and Florida, drug testing. The judge added an important handwritten notation. The man once known as the bounty hunter of Wall Street can still play the market as long as he does so under his own name. But the trial is set for September 24th. The SEC today charged 26 firms to pay more than $390 million to settle charges for widespread recording failures. And here's all of them if you'd like to look through or pause it. Hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American from national public data, around 2.9 billion records, and this came out today. The World Health Organization has declared the Mpox outbreak in Africa a global health emergency. This also came out today. Chevron is moving their headquarters to Houston from California. Texas really is Chicago in 1875. I mean, it's booming. And for anybody who's stuck around, on Ortex it says that utilization has fallen dramatically. You can see we were at 100% for a while on utilization, but now we're down to 30% utilization. But we know there's a little bit more to it than just 30%. I mean, whenever GameStop dumped 120 million shares on the market, they were only still able to borrow 100,000. Like, they had to give all those shares to people that were waiting for shares. But I could be wrong. Retail owns the float, and I really appreciate y'all. God bless you, and have a great one.